The tragic story of Will Klein. Will Klein gradually became dangerously addicted to online gambling. His addiction grew so severe that he abandoned his studies entirely and devoted himself to gambling. Neither his father, Bill Klein, nor his mother, Jen Arnold, could make him listen to their advice. The situation worsened when Will stole $20,000 from his father's savings just to fuel his gambling habit. But that was not the end. Later, he secretly borrowed another $200,000 from his gambling friend Alex. Instead of using it wisely, Will recklessly lost the entire sum in online gambling. When Alex demanded his money back, Will failed to return it on time. Frustrated and betrayed, Alex took the matter to court. The court's verdict sentenced Will Klein to 1 year in prison and imposed a $250,000 fine. Seeing their son in such a devastating condition broke the hearts of his father Bill Klein, his mother Jen Arnold, and the rest of the family. They had never imagined that their once promising son would face such a tragic downfall. To understand the profound depth of this tragedy, we must first remember the foundation upon which this family was built. Jen Arnold, a renowned neonatologist, and Bill Klein, a successful entrepreneur, never let their skeletal dysplasias define their limits. Their love story was a testament to finding a soulmate who sees not your limitations, but your possibilities. But their greatest shared dream was to become parents. The adoption of Will was a milestone celebrated by their viewers. Here was this beautiful, bright-eyed boy, given a chance at a life filled with opportunity, education, and boundless love. Jen and Bill were not just parents. They were warriors for their children. They navigated Will's own medical needs with the same tenacity they applied to everything in their lives. He was their miracle. Will grew up in a world of privilege, yes, but more importantly, in a world of immense emotional support. Jen and Bill were present, involved, and deeply committed to providing a stable, nurturing environment. Will was a curious, intelligent child. He did well in school, had friends, and the future laid out before him was as bright as his parents could possibly make it. He was, by all accounts, a testament to their successful parenting. But adolescence is a tumultuous time for any child, and perhaps even more so for a child in the public eye. The constant, albeit gentle, gaze of the camera, the awareness of being different, not only because of his family's fame, but also because of his parents' dwarfism, created undercurrents that no one, not even his deeply attentive parents, could fully comprehend. The digital world, a place of escape for many teenagers, would soon become Will's prison. It began, as it often does, with something small. A pop-up advertisement during a sports stream, a sponsored post on social media from a charismatic influencer talking about day trading, or crypto gains that blurred the lines with sports betting. For Will, maybe it was a moment of boredom, a curiosity sparked by the thrill of a big game. That first bet, that first click, it was innocuous. $5 on a football game, $10 on a horse race, and he won. That initial win is a chemical rush to the brain, a potent cocktail of dopamine and adrenaline. It's not just about the money. It's about the victory, the control, the sense of being smarter than the system. For a young man navigating the complexities of his identity, that feeling was a powerful drug. He felt invincible. The brain of a teenager is still developing, particularly the prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for impulse control and risk assessment. The intermittent rewards of gambling, the occasional win amidst a sea of losses, are perfectly designed to hijack this developing neurology. What started as a hobby quickly became an obsession. The digital casino was always open, just a click away in his pocket. The line between entertainment and composure began to blur, then vanish entirely. Jen and Bill began to notice the subtle shifts. The hours spent alone in his room, the decline in interest in family activities, and new irritability when he was asked about his schoolwork. When they gently broached the subject, asking if he was spending too much time on games or online. They were met with the classic wall of teenage defiance. "It's fine. You wouldn't understand. I'm just relaxing." They were parents, not prison guards. They trusted their son, and that trust was the crack in the dam through which the flood would eventually pour. As the addiction tightened its grip, Will's priorities underwent a catastrophic realignment. The future his parents had worked so hard to build for him, college, a career, began to seem abstract, distant, and unimportant compared to the immediate electric thrill of the next bet. Schoolwork became a tedious obstacle. His studies, once a point of pride, were now an afterthought. Assignments were left unfinished. Classes were skipped. Then, they were abandoned entirely. The concerned conversations turned into confrontations. Jen, with her doctor's mind, would have approached it logically, citing the statistics of addiction, the dangers, the psychological hooks. Bill, more blunt and direct, would have demanded answers, accountability. But addiction is a wall that reason and emotion cannot penetrate. The son they raised, the boy who valued family and hard work, was receding, replaced by a stranger whose only god was the next spin of the digital roulette wheel. He was no longer listening. He was only waiting for the moment he could get back to his phone, back to the one thing that made him feel alive. The money he had, allowance, birthday money, savings from a part-time job, was long gone. The addiction now had a vacuum-like need for more capital, more fuel for the fire. And it was in this state of desperate, chemically altered reasoning that Will Klein committed his first truly unforgivable act. It was an act that would cross a line from a private struggle into a profound personal betrayal. The $20,000 was not just money. For Bill Klein, a self-made man who understood the value of a dollar, it represented security, hard work, and provision for his family. It was emergency money, maybe for a medical crisis, maybe for a family emergency. It was sacred. And in the dead of night, his own son, the boy he had crossed an ocean for, violated that sanctuary. The confrontation was inevitable. When Bill discovered the money was gone, the only possible culprit was Will. The scene that followed is one no parent is ever prepared for. The accusations, the denials, the eventual, shattering admission. Imagine the pain in Jen's heart, the fury and devastation in Bill's. This was more than a rebellion. It was a fundamental breach of trust. Their son was not just sick, he was now a thief in his own home. In the aftermath, amidst the tears and promises, Jen and Bill were faced with an impossible choice. Do they call the police on their own son? Do they institutionalize him? Their parental instincts were to protect, to fix, to heal. They decided, perhaps against their better judgment, to handle it as a family. They secured their assets, cut off his access to money, and desperately tried to find him help, therapy, counselors, support groups. They believed, with the fierce hope only parents can muster, that they had hit the bottom. That from here, the only way was up. They were wrong. The bottom was still far, far below. Cut off from family funds, Will's addiction was now a caged animal, starving and desperate. It was in this state that he met Alex. Alex was everything Will aspired to be: confident, financially fluid, and seemingly understanding of the high-stakes player lifestyle. He was a fellow gambler, but one who operated on a different level. To Will, he seemed like a lifeline. The lies now came easily to him. The addiction had eroded his morality. He looked Alex in the eye and fabricated a story, using his family's good name as a shield. And Alex, perhaps seeing an opportunity or simply being naive, agreed. The amount was staggering: $200,000. A sum that could buy a house, fund a college education, or, in Will's twisted reality, be the ultimate winning streak that would solve all his problems and pay everyone back. He did not use it to pay back his father. He did not invest it. He did not even pay off a debt. He went straight back to the digital tables. In a horrifying, days-long binge, fueled by caffeine, adrenaline, and the delusion of the sure thing. He gambled, and he lost. Bet by bet, spin by spin, hand by hand, the $200,000 evaporated into the ether of the internet. It was gone in a heartbeat, leaving behind only a phantom balance and a mountain of unimaginable debt. When the payment deadline arrived, Will had nothing. No excuses, no lies that could cover a $200,000 hole. Alex, from friendly lender, became a furious creditor. The text turned to threats. The friendly facade dropped, revealing the cold, hard reality of a business transaction gone terribly wrong. Will was in over his head, and the water was turning to ice. The truth, when it finally came out, was a nuclear bomb detonating in the heart of the Klein Arnold home. The $20,000 theft was a tremor. This was a cataclysm. The sheer scale of the deception, the financial recklessness, the involvement of a dangerous outsider, it was too much to process. The family was now facing an external legal threat. Their private nightmare was about to become a very public scandal. Alex gave him one last chance, a final deadline, but there was no magical solution. Jen and Bill, though financially comfortable, could not simply write a $200,000 check to cover their son's fraudulent debt without devastating consequences. And even if they could, what lesson would that teach? They were trapped between saving their son from the law and holding him accountable for his actions. The clock was ticking. The deadline passed. The money was not returned. True to his word, Alex took Will to court. The lawsuit was not just for the return of the $200,000 principal, but for interest and legal fees. The private shame was now a matter of public record. The Klein name, synonymous with strength and positivity, was now headlining a sordid story of addiction and debt. The courtroom proceedings were a brutal, methodical dismantling of Will's life. The evidence was undeniable. Text messages requesting the loan, bank transfer records, a digital trail of gambling transactions that showed the $200,000 being fed into various websites within days of receipt. Will's defense was weak. His addiction was presented, but it did not absolve him of the legal responsibility to repay a debt, especially one acquired under potentially fraudulent pretenses. The verdict was swift and severe. The court found Will Klein liable for the full amount. But given the inability to pay and the nature of the situation, the fraud, the scale, the case also attracted the attention of the district attorney. A criminal case was brought forth for obtaining money under false pretenses, a felony. The criminal trial was the final, crushing blow. The defense argued for leniency, for rehabilitation over incarceration, painting Will as a sick young man from a good family who had taken a terrible wrong turn. The prosecution argued for the rule of law, that addiction is not a license to steal and defraud on such a massive scale. William Klein, this court sentences you to 12 months in a state correctional facility, followed by 3 years of probation. You are also ordered to pay a fine of $250,000, and upon your release, you will enter a mandated rehabilitation program. 1 year. 365 days. For Jen and Bill, who had spent their lives building a world of safety for their children, the image of their son in handcuffs, being led away to prison, was a shattering of their entire reality. Their son, their Will, was now inmate. The promising future was gone, replaced by a prisoner ID number and a permanent criminal record. The aftermath was a silence louder than any explosion. The home that was once filled with laughter and love was now a mausoleum of what had been. Jen, the brilliant doctor who fixed tiny, fragile lives, was powerless to fix her own son. Bill, the resilient entrepreneur who could solve any business problem, had encountered a crisis with no solution. They were left to pick up the pieces. There was the public humiliation, the tabloid headlines, the social media speculation. But worse was the private grief, the questions that haunted them in the dead of night. Where did we go wrong? Could we have seen this sooner? Should we have been harder on him, softer? The guilt was a heavy shroud they both wore. And one of Zoey, her brother's downfall cast a long shadow over her own adolescence. Her family was fractured, her parents were consumed by a crisis, and her home was no longer a sanctuary. The collateral damage of addiction is vast, and it spares no one. Visitation days were a weekly exercise in heartbreak. To see their son, their child, stripped of his identity, confined in a cage, it was a pain beyond description. For Jin, these visits were about connection, about assuring Will that he was still loved, that they had not abandoned him. For Bill, they were more complex, a mixture of love, anger, and a profound sense of failure. In that sterile room, the roles were reversed. The child was now the one who was utterly helpless, and the parents were the powerless observers. They talked about everything and nothing: the weather, a book, a memory from childhood, anything to avoid the elephant in the room, the lost years, the stolen money, the shattered trust. Each visit ended the same way, with a guard leading their son away, and then walking back out into a world that had moved on, carrying the heavy weight of what was, and the terrifying uncertainty of what would be. The story of Will Klein is a modern Greek tragedy, a cautionary tale for the digital age. It is a stark reminder that addiction does not discriminate. It can invade the most loving homes, prey upon the most promising futures, and bring the strongest families to their knees. For Jin Arnold and Bill Klein, the road to healing will be long. The financial cost, though immense, is perhaps the easiest to bear. The emotional and psychological scars will last a lifetime. The trust, once broken, may never be fully restored. Their family story is now forever divided into before and after. But if we know anything about Jin and Bill, it is that they are fighters. Their love for their son, though tested in the most brutal of fires, has not extinguished. Their hope now is not for the life they once imagined for him, but for survival, for recovery, for the slow, painful process of picking up the pieces and finding a new kind of normal. They loved him from the moment they saw him. They fought for him through every challenge. And even now, from the depths of this unimaginable darkness, they have not stopped fighting. The little couple faced a giant of a problem, and the world can only watch and hope and pray that their resilience will one day lead their son back into the light. More update. The little couple Will Klein takes on ocean with new hobby. And the little couple Will Klein, 15, rocks a mustache. Will Klein flashes inappropriate gesture, first NFL game. Will Klein flaunts fashion taste in latest look. I will explain everything. The little couple Will Klein takes on ocean with new hobby. Will Klein has just found a new pastime, and Dr. Jin Arnold posts updates about her children Zoey and Will on social media after the little couple finished filming. Even though he is no longer a little child, the former TLC star is making a comeback to a previous endeavor. At what point will he commit to it? When Will and Zoey Klein were residents of Florida, viewers of TLC frequently saw them frolicking on boats. When they found out they were moving to Boston, Massachusetts, they were shocked. Of course, there are also water activities and boats to enjoy. But the milder weather was considered to be too much for the children. Their adaptation was successful, and they now appear to adore their new habitat. In addition to his new passion, Will is playing lacrosse there. Think back to when the show was on TLC, and you might remember that Will and Zoey did a lot of cool stuff. After a family visit to NASA, Zoey of the little couple joined Will in his dream of becoming an astronaut. Watchers of TLC saw them go swimming lessons, museums, and the aquarium, among other things. Regarding the episode from around 4 years ago, in which they went sailing, viewers witnessed it. A very blurry snapshot was posted by Jin Arnold to her Instagram this week. The truth is that she may have been taking it while sailing on rough seas. After she tweeted, "So proud of Will Klein 63 for getting back in the sailboat again," TLC viewers figured it out. In case you didn't know, Will Klein is currently 13 years old. In all likelihood, He appears to be prepared to go to the water in a vessel larger than the small Optimus Danny. Fans of the little couple, who still hold Jin Arnold's family in high regard, took to the comment section to express their feelings. By bringing the show back, TLC would truly delight many viewers. Someone who followed Will exclaimed, "Great job." The young man appeared to be brave, according to another follower. In fact, he should be, as being physically active becomes more difficult for children as they mature. Followers of the little couple may have heard that Bill, the father of Will and Zoe, recently saw a spine doctor in New York to address his health issues. The orthopedic and neurological challenges of being a little person were outlined by Jin Arnold. Growing older comes with its own set of risks. May will find satisfaction in his newfound sailing passion and be able to indulge in it for years to come. How courageous do you think Will is to be learning to sail the ocean? The little couple, Will Klein, 15, rocks a mustache. One of the famous members of the little couple, Dr. Jennifer Arnold, recently posted a video on her social media accounts. Her son, Will Klein, was observed by admirers while he was growing up during the family's unique celebration. The comments section was also flooded by fans who wanted to send their well wishes to the family. From 2009 till 2019, the little couple was on the air. Skeletal dysplasia affected both neonatologist Dr. Jennifer Arnold and businessman Bill Klein, who were featured in the TLC series. The couple first appeared on the small screen in the show Little People, Just Married. The happy couple expanded their family by 2 in 2013. They brought their son Will home from China through adoption in March. Zoey, their daughter, was adopted from India the following October. Even after the first series concluded, viewers have continued to follow the family's adventures on social media. One of our members just marked a significant achievement. Jennifer celebrated Will's 15th birthday by posting a video of him on Instagram. "Yet another birthday down the drain," she said in the post. "Holy cow, Will Klein, 63, you're 15 years old. We are incredibly proud of the wonderful, generous, funny, and intelligent young man you have grown into." In the video, Will's family gathers around a cake with 15 candles to sing happy birthday to him. Right before they unwrap their presents, Zoey filmed the joyful scene, with items cutting. Those who have followed Will's career throughout the years noticed that he looked older. Will stood out because he had grown a mustache. For Jennifer's legion of Instagram followers, this was a major deal. After all, she does occasionally post nostalgic family movies and images. Many admirers took to the comments section to wish Will a merry birthday. Many also mentioned the passing of time and how they've seen the family grow and change. Among the remarks were, "Oh my, he was on when I was a kid, and now he's 15. Wow, time flies. Wishing you a very happy birthday, William. He kept saying cake, cake. I couldn't believe it. Wishing you a very happy birthday, Will. Will, I wish you a very happy birthday. That you are 15 years old is really mind-boggling. The feeling of joy and understanding that washed over me when your parents came to fetch you is something I'll never forget. You are always in my prayers. Will, I hope you have a very happy birthday. My man, you're growing up. Warm regards to your wonderful parents and sister, and many congratulations. 15? Wow, how quickly this year has passed. He has matured into such a dashing young man. Celebrate your 15th birthday, Will. Best wishes from Zoey and your folks. Best wishes for the coming year, Will." Will Klein flashes inappropriate gesture. First NFL game. In his spare time, Will Klein manages the football team at his school. The former child star of the little couple went to his first NFL game not long ago, and Jin Arnold's social media included some lovely photographs of him. But she apparently doesn't know that in one photo he made an offensive motion with his hand. People who watch TLC can't believe the 13-year-old is growing up so quickly. His dad, Bill, is far behind him, and he even outreaches his mom. Obviously, his smile is a fan favorite. As viewers of the little couple have seen since he was a child, he has never stopped smiling. The adolescent years, though, aren't always easy. Despite getting into problems on social media, he appears to be performing well in class. The Klein fan base loves it when Will gets dressed up because he has a bit of a style sense. Being handsome helped him gain a large fan base, and the fact that his parents gave him permission to use Instagram and TikTok further added to it. His TikTok account caused some admirers to feel uneasy since he appeared to post things without oversight. Sure, he got into problems, despite his good looks and height. But hey, he's still a young teen. When the adolescent seemed a little rowdy on TikTok in September, TLC viewers were surprised. As far as anyone could tell, it was simply a silly film of the adolescent imitating the Madagascar penguin's dance skills. 2 6 Mafia's Half on a Sack, though, was playing in the background. Containing foul language and inappropriate material, the audience was taken aback. It was initially thought to be inoffensive when Will posted an Instagram photo of himself and his dad at his first NFL game. After Will Klein's TikTok dance, the parents of the little couple had a word with him. They were having a hard time keeping up with the ever-changing social media landscape, which Jen Arnold acknowledged and apologized for. Now, maybe unawares, she posted a photo of her son doing something wrong. His actions were described by the son as the shocker symbol, a sign with a context, with both of his hands. Anyone who didn't watch the second film went absolutely bonkers over Will Klein in the comments. As one of them put it, "I am a Massachusetts resident, and I give my approval to this communication." Maybe they would have thought twice before saying that had they seen the second photo with the shocker hand gesture. Are you of the opinion that Will Klein understands the shocker hand signal? Ask his folks. Could this be Jen Arnold, his mom, apologizing in public again? She should have uploaded it as the second photo instead of the main one, since not all TLC viewers scroll down to view the ones following the main one. Will Klein flaunts fashion taste in latest look. Will Klein, Zoey, Dr. Jen Arnold, and Bill Klein, Will's parents, vanished from viewers' television screens after the little couple concluded on TLC, and fans truly don't get it. Neither of them is a little baby anymore. Time has flown past. Recent photos taken by his mom show an increasingly mature Will, all dolled up and ready to go. After relocating from Houston, Jen Arnold and Bill ended up in St. Petersburg, Florida, so viewers witnessed the family's happiness there for a significant portion of the program. The family, however, stopped recording after the pandemic hit. Fans thought the family had opted to stop filming when they heard that TLC had no plans for a renewal. But when Zoey and her mom relocated to Boston, they had an argument. She said that their fans were furious because TLC dropped them. As they watched the two kids mature, they found joy. After relocating to Boston not long ago, Will Klein matured quickly and adjusted admirably. Jen Arnold recently raved about his performance to her followers. You may not be aware of this, but he is a football player and manager. Also, he has a great passion for the rough contact sport of lacrosse. He swiftly overtakes Dr. Jen in stature and strength and catches up to his father. Over the weekend, the mother of the little couple posted several images of her kid to Instagram. She apparently saw him enter his room and took a picture of him doing so fast. Gently, he proceeded to pose for further photographs. Black long-sleeve slacks, a blue fleece vest, black boots, and a checkered shirt were his attire. Jen Arnold mentioned Will Klein in her caption. "Listen, I saw you all decked out regardless of the number of images shared by the TLC star. Fans will always see the same young boy who came from China and is now living it up to the fullest. I still remember the small boy who yelled out, 'Mommy, cake,' as the comments began to stream in. What a stunning man. He exudes an air of self-assurance. Superb work. Will looks really mature. It was as recent as yesterday. What a lovely little child. Beautiful photo of a father and son. He has matured so much. It's unbelievable. I still recall the day you took him in as an orphan. Will Klein, in your opinion, has impeccable taste in clothing? Is it too much for you to bear how much older he looks now? Would you be interested in seeing him and his sister return to reality TV, despite the fact that he is no longer a little child? Write a comment and tell us what you think. No more today. What are you thinking about this gossip today? Let us know in the comments, and stay tuned by subscribing to our channel to get more updates like this. Thank you.